Hey guys, in this video I take you along on another shoot for an interior designer whose work on the project that we're shooting today is going to be featured in a local Kansas City magazine. So the designer today, her name is Whitney Coulas. I have been shooting for her. She is probably one of my oldest clients, much like Jamie on the other video. I've been shooting for her for years, and she was one of my first clients. I can't even remember the first time I shot a job for her. Future editor Matthew, you can put the date on here on the first time that Whitney and I ever worked together. Whitney was pretty stoked not only to just complete this project, but to have it featured in a Kansas City magazine. Whitney's favorite style is this ultra modern, chic, very kind of black and white type of style. So the project that we're shooting today is this kind of style. I did get a chance to walk through the property last week. The homeowner was there, just kind of walk through real quick. I was only there for maybe a half hour, but at least get a lay of the land, see kind of the main areas that we'll more than likely be shooting. Whitney is very, very particular about her shots, which actually is great. It makes my job a lot easier, especially in post. That way I know the shots that we have taken, those are 100% the shots that Whitney is going to want. But sometimes they take a while to set up, and you'll probably see it, but we will set up a shot and Whitney is very particular about the angle, height of the camera, with the position of all the knickknacks and little items that might be on a shelf or a coffee table, stuff like that. It's great. I love it. It's time consuming, which is fine. I would much rather do that than run around like chickens with our heads cut off and try to rush anything or try to correct a bunch of stuff like that in post, which can be a nightmare if you've ever had to do that. All right, that is it. Let's head out to the job, but first, coffee. Grande latte with 2 sugars in the raw. All right, let's do this. Hello. I would assume for most photographers in this line of work, one of the least favorite parts of the job is simply unloading the vehicle. If you do a majority of these jobs by yourself, simply unloading the vehicle feels like it takes forever sometimes. All right, so any preference on which area you want to start? So we started off in the kitchen. It took a little while to ultimately decide on the final composition for the first shot. We decided on a slightly offset 1-point perspective shot using my Canon 24mm tilt shift. Now, notice what Whitney's doing right here. Now, like I said, Whitney is very, very particular about the shots that she wants, which is great. It actually makes my job a whole lot easier. In a way, Whitney will scout her projects by taking shots of a space using her cell phone, then shows them to me to kind of mimic and recreate the angle, composition, things like that. Obviously, the end goal is for my photos to turn out better than what shows up on her cell phone. Now, the other person you see floating around in some of the previous shots of the video was a young woman by the name of Nicole, and she's one of the writers of the magazine we're shooting for. She was great, super nice, so much fun to talk to our detriment, actually. We ended up talking way longer than we should have, so by the time she left, we were a little hard pressed for time. We only had about maybe another hour and a half max, and we still had about 3 or 4 shots left to do. I'll put some of the final shots at the very end of the video. We finished up with the shot of the living room, which I think was my favorite shot from the whole shoot. And then we were done, obviously. The other fun part of the job is loading the vehicle back up. All right, we are heading back home. We are finished for the day. Couple takeaways from this shoot. Biggest issue of all that kind of a lesson to be learned from today's shoot is when it comes to time. Make sure to allot a good amount of time for your shoot. I absolutely hate being rushed on a job. That's one of the biggest reasons I got out of real estate photography, was because not only are you pressed for time usually during the shoot, you are pressed for time to edit as fast as you can, because turnaround time is typically next day or 48 hours. Sometimes even clients need them the images the same day, and I absolutely hate working like that. Big reason we were rushed a little bit today was our own fault, my fault particularly. We just got caught up in conversation with Nicole from the magazine, and we just chatted way too much, so time got away from us. But aside from that, not saying it happened on this particular shoot, I do hate it when you show up to a shoot and a client goes, just want to let you know we only have X amount of time for the shoot, and that variable of X amount of time is significantly lower than you anticipated. Sometimes overestimate the expectations as far as the amount of time that you're going to need on a shoot. If someone says, I'm going to need X amount of photos, and in your mind, you know realistically how long that's going to take, overestimate by maybe a half hour or an hour to at least give you that cushion and room to play with, that buffer. Otherwise, if you're on the nose, you're on the nose, but if you go the other way and underestimate on the amount of time, you're going to be pretty stressed out, or at least I am. It's one of those situations, again, I just absolutely hate. So set the proper expectation on time and time management with your clients. It'll help you out big time in the long run. Guys, that'll do it for this video. As always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch, and we will see you on the next one.